Price blew a fastball by the batter to end the inning, and a commercial intervened, hauling Evers back to the present. His pork chop was tough as a catcher's mitt. He tossed it in the trash and grabbed a beer. The first cold gulp sobered him. There was no way that was his Dr. Young, with his shaky morning-after hands and more than a hint of gin under his cigarette breath. Nowadays they'd call his condition PTSD, but to a kid at the mercy of his instruments, it didn't matter. Evers had despised him, had surely at some point wished him, if not dead, then gone. When the Rays came to bat, the teenager was waving again, but the rows behind him were vacant. Evers kept an eye out, expecting Dr. Young to come back with a beer and a hot dog. Yet, as the innings passed and Price's strikeouts mounted, the seat remained empty. Nearby, a woman in a sparkly top was now waving to the folks at home. He wished Ellie were there to tell, or that he could call his mother and ask whatever happened to young Dr. Young. But, as with so much of his daily existence, there was no one to share it with. More likely than not, the man was just another old guy with nothing better to do than waste his leftover evenings watching baseball, only at the park instead of at home. Late that night, around 3, Evers could easily see why of all the possible punishments, prisoners feared solitary confinement the most. At some point a beating had to stop, but a thought could go on and on, feeding and then feeding on insomnia. Why Dr. Young, who he hadn't thought of in years? Was it a sign? An omen? Or was he, as he feared he might when they told him Ellie had died, gradually losing his grip on this world? To prove those doubts wrong, he spent the next day running errands around town, chatting with the clerk at the post office and the woman at the circulation desk of the library. Just small talk, but still, a connection, something to build on. Like every summer, Pat and his family had taken off for the Cape and Sue's folks' place. Evers called their machine anyway and left a message. When they came back, they should really get together. He'd love to take them all out to dinner somewhere, their choice, or maybe a ball game. That evening, he prepared his dinner as if nothing had happened, though now he was very aware of the time and ended up rushing his grilled chicken so he could catch the first pitch. The Rays were playing the Mariners again, and again attendance was sparse, the upper deck a sea of blue. Evers settled in to watch, ignoring where the pitch was, focusing instead on the third row, just to the left of the umpire. As if to answer his question with a cosmic Bronx cheer, Raymond, the team's mascot, a creature with blue fur not found anywhere in the natural world, flopped across the seats, shaking his fist behind Ichiro's back. "You're going shack wacky," Evers said. "That's all." The Mariners' ace, Felix Hernandez, was going for them, and King Felix was on. The game was fast. By the time Evers cracked his nightly beer, it was the 6th, and the M's were up by a couple. It was then, just as King Felix caught Ben Zobrist looking, that Evers saw, 3 rows deep in the same pinstripe suit he was buried in, his old business partner, Leonard Wheeler. Leonard Wheeler, always Leonard, never Lenny, was eating a hot dog and washing it down with what ESPN SportsCenter smartasses were pleased to call an adult beverage. For a moment, too startled for denial, Evers defaulted to the outrage the merest thought of Wheeler could call up from his gut even now. "You controlling son of a bitch!" he shouted, and dropped his own adult beverage, which he'd just been bringing to his lips. The can fell into the tray, balanced on his lap, and knocked it to the floor between his feet, where the chicken, instant mashed potatoes, and bird's-eye string beans, also of a color not found in the natural world, lay on the carpet in a foaming puddle of beer.